In 2017, a painting sold at Christie's in New York for $450 million. It took 11 minutes to sell. Somewhere else that same year, a print of that painting sold at a market stall for $12. Both are artwork. Both hang on walls. One is a decoration. The other is now the most expensive object ever sold at auction. Understanding what separates them isn't about taste. It's about a system, and once you understand the system, you see the art world completely differently. Here are the 7 levels. Level 1, mass-produced prints. $10 to $100. Walk into any IKEA, any Walmart, any corner store with a home section. You'll find framed prints of sunsets, abstract splashes, Monet's water lilies, a black and white photo of Paris. They're printed by machines at scale in factories, sometimes tens of thousands of an identical image. This is decoration, not art. And there's nothing wrong with that. Most of the walls in the world are covered at this level, and they should be. People need spaces to feel comfortable in. But here's the fundamental rule: a mass-produced print cannot appreciate. It cannot gain value, because it has no scarcity. There are 40,000 identical copies. Nobody is bidding for the one in your living room. Who's here? Everyone at some point. The college apartment. The first home. The person who said, "I just want something for that blank wall." This level is about filling space. Everything above this is about something else entirely. Level 2, limited edition prints. $100 to $2,000. Same idea as a print, ink on paper, reproduced from an original, but now there are rules. The edition is numbered. There are 50 copies, or 150, or 300. The artist signed each one. That's it. When they're gone, they're gone. This is where the art market actually begins. Not because the object is more beautiful than a poster, but because scarcity has been introduced. Scarcity is the engine of the entire art world from this point forward. The fascinating detail here: a signed, numbered screen print by Keith Haring can sell for $15,000 at auction today. The image may have been made in the 1980s. The paper hasn't changed. The ink hasn't changed. What changed is who made it, and how many exist. Some of the most important works in art history started as editions. Warhol built an empire out of the print. Banksy turned the unsigned street stencil into a market that nobody predicted. This level is often dismissed as the entry tier. The people dismissing it usually haven't studied what an early Haring edition sold for in 1990 versus 2024. Level 3, original work by emerging artists. $500 to $10,000. This is the first level where the object is completely unique. One painting. One hand. Never made again. Emerging artists, those with their first few gallery shows, a small but real collector base, maybe one exhibition that got noticed, price their work using a surprisingly mechanical formula: surface area times $1 rate per square inch, usually between $1.50 and $3 for new artists. A 24 by 30 inch oil painting at $2.50 per square inch comes out to $1,800. That's not a negotiation. That's the math. What's being bought here isn't the object. It's a bet. The collector is betting that in 15 years, the artist whose name nobody knows will be the artist whose name everybody knows. Sometimes they're right. Jean-Michel Basquiat's earliest works sold for a few $100s. His record at auction is $110 million. The danger of this level is that most bets lose. Most emerging artists do not break through. The work stays beautiful. The value stays flat. Understanding the difference between what you love and what the market will love takes either expertise, time, or luck. Usually all three. Level 4, established mid-market art. $10,000 to $100,000. The artist at this level has something the emerging artist doesn't: a track record. They've been in group shows and solo shows. Museums have noticed them. A gallery with a real name, not just a white room someone rented for a weekend, represents them. Works have traded hands on the secondary market, meaning collectors have bought, held, and resold, and the prices moved upward. The gallery at this level isn't just a shop. It's infrastructure. It controls the price. It controls placement, which means making sure the right museums and the right collectors get access first. A gallery director told ArtNet in 2025, a $20,000 painting doesn't feel the same at a young gallery as it does at Swerner. It might be the exact same painting. The wall it hangs on changes what people believe it's worth. This is the level where art starts to function like an asset. Prices don't collapse during economic downturns the way stocks do. The market is thinner but more deliberate. Collectors here are not decorating their homes. They are building something, a collection with a point of view, a history, a logic. Level 5, Blue Chip Emerging. $100,000 to $1 million. Here is where the language changes. The word, investment, stops being metaphorical. Artists at this level, sometimes called red chip in market terminology, are not yet household names, but they are institutional names. Museums own their work. Major galleries represent them. Art fairs dedicate solo booths to them. Auction results show consistent year-on-year appreciation. The market at this level is deliberate and competitive in a way that lower levels are not. Waitlists exist. Galleries allocate new work to collectors whose existing collection benefits the artist's career, not to whoever has the most money. A hedge fund manager with $500,000 and no art history might be told no. A curator with $50,000 and a meaningful collection might be told yes. In 2024, artworks under $50,000 made up 61% of all auction lots sold globally. But those lots represented a fraction of total value. The volume is at the bottom. The money is accumulating here and above. This is also the level where provenance, the documented ownership history of a piece, starts to function as a multiplier. Who owned it before you matters. It changes the price. It changes the story. It changes everything. Level 6, Blue Chip Established. $1 million to $50 million. Basquiat. Hockney. Koons. Kusama. Hearst. Warhol. These are the blue-chip artists. Their names are in museum retrospectives, in university curricula, in auction house catalogs as centerpieces. The supply of their work is fixed or nearly fixed, you cannot make more Basquiats. Jean-Michel Basquiat died in 1988 at 27 years old. There will never be a new painting. Blue-chip art has returned an average of 13.8% annually over the last 26 years, according to market data. During the same period, it has shown lower volatility than equities in downturns. Collectors here are not buying beauty. They are managing a portfolio. The painting in the dining room is also a line item in an asset allocation strategy reviewed quarterly by a family office. The most revealing fact about this level, the buyers are often invisible. Private sales, deals negotiated quietly between galleries, advisors, and collectors, now account for a substantial portion of this market. The auction results you read about are the public transactions. The real trades often happen without a hammer ever falling. Level 7, Museum-grade Masterworks. $50 million and beyond. These are not paintings. They are civilizational objects. In 2017, Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi sold at Christie's for $450 million in 11 minutes. The buyer was later identified as acting on behalf of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The painting has not been seen publicly since. Some art historians argue about whether da Vinci painted the whole canvas or only parts. It sold for $450 million anyway. In 2022, Andy Warhol's shot Sage Blue Maryland sold for $195 million. In 2025, Gustav Klimt's portrait of Eugenia Primavesi sold for $236 million at Sotheby's, one of the highest prices ever achieved at a European auction. What is being purchased at this level has nothing to do with aesthetics and very little to do with investment. These are objects with the density of history inside them, objects that have survived wars, changed empires, been stolen and returned, been authenticated and disputed and authenticated again. They are bought by governments, sovereign wealth funds, and billionaires who understand that certain things cannot be replicated by any amount of money spent anywhere else. The single fact that changes how you think about all of this: in 2024, artworks under $5,000 accounted for 804,000 individual transactions. Works above $10 million? A handful. But those handful of works, in dollar terms, moved more value in a single evening than all 804,000 of the smaller transactions combined. The art world tells you it's about beauty. That's the front door. The back door is what this video was about. Scarcity. Provenance. Placement. Institutional validation. The wall the painting hangs on before it reaches yours. Every other market sells you an object. The art market sells you a position in a story, and the story determines everything. If you want to understand how value actually works in the world, not just in art, keep watching. I break this down one industry at a time.